How to stop smoking weed. Now, I've accomplished a lot since I quit. I was, or I did consider myself a productive pothead when I was getting high. Um, I used to smoke before and after classes, and I managed to get my associate's degree. And I always kept a job. But with that being said, today, now that I'm sober, I have accomplished a hell of a lot more since I gave up weed. So these are going to be 4 steps that I did that helped me out, that I really believe will help you out as well. So step number 1 is you gotta want to stop smoking. And if as long as it's about 20 to 50%, 20% or more of you actually wants to stop smoking weed, you'll be able to do it. Now, I noticed that I had an issue when I was, stealing money, giving drug dealers quarters and fucking like actual quarters, nickels and dimes and shit like that, like coins. When I would wait out for them for long periods of time and get skimped, and when I couldn't go to sleep and shit like that, I noticed I had a problem. And there was a time where in my van, I was driving a Chevy Venture at the time. I would scream at the top of my lungs asking God to help me stop smoking weed. Unfortunately, I had to learn the hard way, but ultimately I did stop smoking weed. So yeah, you gotta at least want to stop smoking weed. I've always, after a few years, I started to realize, like, damn, this shit is gonna take its toll on me eventually. Shit gonna add up. Emphysema, lung cancer, heart problems. You know what I mean, paranoia. This shit's gonna add up, and I've always had at least 20 to 50% of me wanting to stop smoking. And it's kind of funny because still today I'd be craving it, and I'd be like, damn, I wish I could get high, but I can control it now. But again, step number 1 is you gotta at least want to stop smoking weed, just a little bit. You know what I mean, a mustard seed. Step number 2 is you're gonna have to enroll in inpatient rehab. Yes, I know you think that rehabs are reserved for more harder, more stigmatized drugs like coke, crack, heroin. You know what I mean, crank, meth. For some of you don't know, Molly pills, shit like that. And best believe when I was in rehab, they was clowning the shit out of my ass because I'm in there for weed. And if you want me to make a video on my experience in rehab, comment in the video below. Let me know so I'll make a video about it. But yeah, no, it's not just for more stigmatized, more harder drugs or more addictive drugs. That's what they like to say. It's for anyone with an addiction. For marijuana, you can definitely get addicted to it. So yeah, you're gonna have to enroll into a rehab. That's step number 2. Furthermore, insurance plays a big part into rehab. Now, if you don't have insurance, what you got to do is get off your ass and get a job. 90 days, 60 days, 30 days, wherever the period is before your benefits kick in, use those benefits. Use your short-term leave to enroll into inpatient therapy or rehab. If you don't have insurance and you might be a minor or under the age of 26 and you're still on your parents' insurance, use their insurance to get enrolled in a rehab. And you'll be surprised, how important, how vital that is to your recovery, from what you're going to experience, from what you'll learn from rehab, inpatient rehab. Now, I don't advise not going to rehab and just doing, meetings. However, for whatever reason, if you just can't make it to inpatient rehabs, you have outpatient rehabs, and you also have Narcotics Anonymous, Alcohol Anonymous, Sex Anonymous, whatever the issue that you're having is, that you can go to. Now, the outpatient rehabs, I don't think they're free, but the Narcotics Anonymous meetings, they are free. They are meetings where you can do it virtually or in person, where you'll go to a said location and meet with a bunch of other recovering addicts who share what they've been going through, how they've been dealing with it, shit like that. And it definitely helps. I don't think you should skip steps 1 and 2 and just do 3. or just do the meetings, but maybe just going to the meetings works for you. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna say don't do it, but I would advise going to inpatient rehab first, all right, before you attend meetings. Step number 3, and again, these are going in order, all right? These are going in order. Step number 3, you're going to have to understand that it's going to be hard. For me, the first day was hard. The first week was hard. And the first time I reused, not relapse, because my definition of relapse is when you get back into the habit of getting high. You know what I mean? Not just you use it and then you back off it or whatever. So the first time you reuse, that's going to be quite the experience. All right. You got to understand that first day is like, damn, man, like I'm really giving this shit up. I'm craving it. You're going to be craving it more than any other day throughout the year, throughout your recovery. That first fucking day. That first week is also going to be a drag. It's going to be challenging. But when you reuse, you got to be prepared for something. All right. Your tolerance is going to be low. So when you reuse, and again, I'm not telling you to reuse, and I hope you don't reuse, but some of us do reuse. And when you do reuse, your tolerance is going to be extremely low, which means you're going to be the fuck fried when you get high again. And that could lead to one of two experiences: a happy high or a sad, scared, and paranoia high. And that's what I had. I had a very negative experience when I reused, and each time following that I reused. It wasn't back to back, but it would be sporadic throughout the year when I would dibble and dabble back into it. And each and every time I had a bad experience. That's because your tolerance is low. You're going to be feeling the guilt of, damn, you know, or at least I was feeling the guilt of, damn, I let everybody down. I let myself down. All this, you know, things that I went through to get here. And, you know, but then there's another side of you that's like, man, I'm missing out. I wish I could still be, you know what I mean, getting high and shit. But after you've been sober for a while, you'll feel the growth. So when you do reuse, you're going to have quite the experience. And it's going to be a hard one. So you got to be prepared for that. So that's step 3. Understand that it's going to be hard. You're going to be fiending on day 1, fiending throughout week 1. But throughout the year in your recovery, you're going to have days and moments and you know, certain times where it's like you're going to be craving it a lot. All right. Now, step number 4 is you're going to have to develop new habits. Now, ideally, you will want to develop habits that's going to be beneficial to you. You know what I mean? Health, fitness, reading, knowledge, shit like that. You're going to want that. You're going to want to develop those type of habits. But we're human, and not all of us develop the same beneficial habits. So you got to understand that if that's not what you are developing, or at least trying to develop, you're going to develop other habits, some good, some bad. Preferably the good ones are going to be time consuming. The bad ones are definitely going to be time consuming and expensive, but the good ones are also going to be time consuming and expensive. Let me let this, I guess, bus drive by. But yeah, the habits that I've adopted were fragrances, which we're going to get into a little bit more later in the video. Firearms. I'm a big gun advocate, Second Amendment advocate. Books. You know what I mean? But I'm a big reader. And personal health and personal development books and shit like that. So yeah, you're going to have to develop a habit, because weed was your habit. And now you're going to have a different habit. Now, if you want me to make a video on some of the bad habits that I've developed and had to, you know what I mean, kick to the side, put that in the comment. I'll make a video on that. But understand that you're going to have another habit in place. Preferably, you want fitness, nutrition, knowledge, things that are going to be more productive for you and your family. But you're going to need a habit. But if you are feeling as though when you've reached step 4 that you're going to develop a bad habit, the best habit is doing nothing. It's better to be in a rut and not do shit. You know what I mean? Come home, because I've been there. Come home, go right after work, come home, go right to sleep. So you don't do and develop bad habits. You know what I mean? That's always an option. That's always a habit. Yeah, you might gain weight. Yeah, you're going to be lonely in the process, but it's better to take a step back, to take 2, 3, 4, 5 steps forward if you need to. All right. So yeah, ruts are bad, but it's not as bad as bad habits. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's step 4. So I hope this helps. This is what helped me out. I'll recap. Step 1, you got to at least want to stop. About 10 to 50% of you or more should at least want to stop enrolling the inpatient through insurance, unless you got the bread like that. You know what I mean? But ideally through insurance, through your work, your employer, or your parents if you're under the age of 26, through their insurance. Understand that step 3, understand that it's going to be hard and difficult day 1, week 1, and the first time you reuse, God willing, you don't reuse. And step 4, developing new habits and how important it is and how it's going to play a big role in your recovery. And you're going to want it to be more healthy, beneficial habits, or at least, you know, positive habits at the end of the day. So moving on, since that's the end of the video, like the video, comment below, subscribe. But I did want to get into the recommended fragrance for today, all right? Which is one of the habits that I got into, fragrances. So since you're going to be taking it back to basics in your recovery, I had to pick Versace Blue Jeans. Came out in 1994. It's a basic yet needed fragrance in your fragrance collection. It's definitely a citrus smell, a little bit of lavender. After about 5 minutes, when it, I guess, gets its most punch, not most punch, but a good medium punch would be after about 5 minutes, it's going to smell a little like bergamot. It's going to cool it down a little bit. But after about 30 minutes, I guess its final notes, if you will, is vanilla and patchouli. But I definitely recommend this fragrance. It's simple. You could throw this joint on fresh out the shower, fresh after a shave. If you're going to work, it's universal. But also, it's affordable. You know what I mean? Let me zoom into this. Versace Blue Jeans. You know what I mean? It is affordable. You can pick it up for under $50. Have your designer fragrance in your collection. Definitely a must-have. But because you're a recovering pothead, you're going to be on a budget. And if you're doing the recovery right, you're going to start having that little extra money in your pocket. This is definitely something to pick up. Versace's not sponsoring this at all. But I had to go back to the basics because you're about to go back to the basics. All right. So that's it. Like the video, comment down below, subscribe. My Instagram is WGNW All right. Again, WGNW That stands for WeGrindNotWhine. All right. I make beats also. But that channel is WeGrindNotWhine. But my personal Instagram, not my beats, but my personal one is WGNW All right. Go over there, shoot a follow, couple likes, show some love. All right. And again, this is how you stop smoking weed. All right. Like the video, comment down below, subscribe, share to some loved ones that you might know who's going through the same thing or getting ready to go through the same thing. Yeah. So I'm out. Stay tuned for the next video whenever I upload it. But I do plan on uploading more. All right. Peace.